Imagine an island larger than any European country, yet covered in ice. A place where fewer than 60,000 people live. And yet, the fate of our planet's future and the rivalry of global powers may depend on it. This island is Greenland, at once a paradise of Arctic nature and a battlefield of political and economic competition. The first humans to reach Greenland arrived about 4,500 years ago, migrating from northern Canada. They were the ancestors of today's Inuit. Life here was never easy. Long winters, unbearable cold, and a sun that sometimes refused to set for weeks, or never rose at all. But these people learned to adapt, hunting giant whales, catching seals, fishing in frozen waters, and traveling by dog sled. Their culture was built on storytelling, oral legends, and handmade crafts. Even today, if you travel to Greenland, you can still see traces of these ancient traditions in everyday life. In 982 AD, a man named Eric the Red, a Viking exiled from Iceland, sailed to this land. To attract settlers, he called it Greenland, a name that was more advertising than reality. The Vikings established colonies along the southern coasts. They raised livestock, built churches, and traded with Europe. But their society eventually collapsed. Harsh cold, food shortages, and perhaps conflict with the Inuit drove them away. By the 15th century, the Vikings of Greenland had vanished. Centuries later, Europeans returned. This time, it was the Danes. From the 18th century onward, Danish ships frequented the area, and in 1814, Greenland officially became a Danish colony. In 1953, its status changed, no longer just a colony, but an official part of the Kingdom of Denmark. In 1979, Greenland was granted home rule, and in 2009, even greater autonomy. Today, Greenland largely governs itself, though foreign policy and defense remain in Denmark's hands. During World War II, when Denmark fell under Nazi occupation, the United States stepped in to protect Greenland from German control. After the war, Greenland was returned to Denmark, but its importance was so clear that in 1946, U.S. President Harry Truman formally offered to buy Greenland. Denmark refused, saying simply, "Greenland is not for sale." Decades later, in 2019, Donald Trump revived the idea and was also rejected. Even in 2025, the U.S. tried again, and once more, the answer was no. But why does America want Greenland so badly? Greenland lies at the heart of the North Atlantic, between Europe and North America. This gives the U.S. the ability to monitor Russian ballistic missile launches and maintain satellite communications. Strategically, Greenland is NATO's northern shield. However, the island's value is not just military. Greenland is one of the richest places in the world for rare minerals: neodymium, uranium, nickel, cobalt, and even rubies and diamonds. With growing economic competition between the US and China, these resources are becoming more valuable every year. And most importantly, Greenland may hold billions of barrels of oil and hundreds of trillions of cubic feet of natural gas, formed millions of years ago when the island was lush and ice-free. But why does Greenland have so many oil and gas resources? The ice on this island, which in some places reaches a depth of more than 3 kilometers, was like a valley millions of years ago before the island froze. At that time, huge rivers flowed into this valley, which caused the fossils of plants and animals to be washed away by the water and deposited in this valley. The rivalry isn't just between America and Denmark. Russia already controls nearly half of the Arctic Ocean, while the US has less than 10%. For Washington, having a stronger foothold in Greenland means more influence in the Arctic race. But what about the Greenlanders themselves? And many are unhappy with America's military presence, such as the Thule Air Base, which in the 1950s forced some locals to relocate. They fear their homeland is seen only as a military outpost, not as a culture and community. Others welcome US involvement, pointing to jobs and economic opportunities. And some even see America as a stronger partner than Denmark, especially if Greenland ever becomes independent. Surveys, however, show that most Greenlanders don't want to join another country. What they want most is independence. So, the question remains, what future awaits this frozen island? Will Greenland one day be an independent nation, or will it remain a stage for great power competition? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Greenland, an icy island at the top of the world, may hold the key to the future of our planet and global politics.